Start kala. I'm P. Madhara, lecturer in physics. Today, in continuation of our video lectures, in that thermal properties of matter, in that we have another topic that is we will discuss about thermal conductivity. Now, in this, mainly there are three modes of transmission of heat. One is conduction, second one is convection, third one is radiation. Conduction is the transfer of heat takes place with the actual movement. Takes place without the movement of the particles, one colliding with the other one. Especially the conduction takes place in metals. Heating of a metal is example of conduction. Convection means the process of transfer of heat takes place in a medium. The particles move from hotter part to the colder part. That is called convection. That is example is boiling of water is taken as example. The third one is radiation. Radiation does not require any medium. That heat just radiates. That is, Earth receives heat from the sun due to radiation. Okay. In medium, though no medium is required for radiation. Now coming back here, there is a concept of thermal conductivity. What is thermal conductivity means? The ability of a solid to conduct heat is called as thermal conductivity. Now here we'll consider a metal rod. Here A is the area of cross section of the rod, L is the length of the rod, and theta 1, theta 2 are the temperature difference is higher than lower temperatures. Now the amount of heat transfer Q is directly proportional to area of cross section, directly proportional to difference in temperature, directly proportional to time of flow of heat, inversely proportional to length of the conductor. Now Q is equal to, we can write Ka into theta 1 minus theta 2 into T by L, where K is called coefficient of thermal conductivity. Its value is there. Now Q by T is equal to, we can write Ka into theta 1 minus theta 2 by L. This Q by T is called rate of flow of heat. K is called coefficient of thermal conductivity. That is, what is coefficient of thermal conductivity means that heat energy transferred in a conductor per unit area of cross section per unit temperature gradient. Its change in temperature length is 1. If all are 1, then rate of flow is Q by T will be, Q by T is called K. That is that how you define this K. Now K is equal to dimension formula if you write, that is Q by T into L by A into theta 1 minus theta 2. If you write the dimension formula, MLT minus 3 K or theta minus 1 you can write. This is dimension formula for thermal conductivity, coefficient of thermal conductivity. Unit MKS unit you take watt per meter per Kelvin is the unit. Okay, watt per meter per unit is Kelvin is the unit. Now here next we have R is equal to, that is Q is equal to Q by T is equal to K A by L into theta 1 minus theta 2 you have. Okay, so if you write K T this side, theta minus T by L into T, this L by Ka is called thermal resistance. L by Ka, this L by K thermal resistance means here L by Ka is called thermal resistance, or we can take. Now we can derive the equations for this series combination and parallel combination. When conductors are placed lengthwise, what happens? Well, conductors are placed over area wise. What happens? What is the effective thermal conductivity to calculate, or temperatures, all that we can calculate. Now here, now when the two conductors are placed lengthwise, they are placed lengthwise, for example, that is series combination. In this, see, in the series combination, what happens, in series combination, rate of flow is same. Rate of flow of heat is same. Sum of the difference across their ends is equal to difference of between their free ends. Sum of the difference temperature across these ends is equal to difference across the ends of the conductor. Now here, this, suppose if you take this as area 1, A1, A2, L1, L2, like this you have. Okay, same area you can take, different areas also you can take. Like now here, now A1, A2, here theta 1, theta 2. Now here R is equal to series combination. What is thermal resistance? R is equal to L by Ka. In series resistance, how it will be like? R series is equal to R1 plus R2. Now here they have got same area of cross section, lengths are different. Now what you have here, effective R effective is equal to K L by R. R is equal to L by K is called this one. So here we can write here R effective is equal to R1 plus R2. In this, R effective is L1 plus L2 by Ka is equal to L1 by K1A plus L2 by K2A. Okay, A getting cancelled. Now you can write K is equal to, what you can write? K is equal to K equivalent. K equivalent we can write it as L1 plus L2 by K equivalent is equal to L1 plus, here K equivalent I like here, K equivalent is equal to L1 by, here K equivalent we can write it as L1 K2 like that, L1 K2 plus L2, no, K1 K2. Here K equivalent we can derive K equivalent is equal to, here we can simplify this and do it. L1 plus L2 by K, L1 by K1 plus L2 by K2. K is equal to, we can write L1 plus L2 by L1 by K1 plus L2 by K2. You can write like this. Okay, this is one method of finding out equivalent effective thermal conductivity. Depending on situation, if L1 is equal to L2, then we can derive this. Okay, and this is first one. Now next, when they are connected in parallel, if they connect, parallel, if they connect in parallel, what you have here, here areas L1, L2, okay, theta 1, theta 2. Here difference in temperature is same. Difference in temperature is same. Rate of flow will be different now. Now here they are connected parallel. So 1 by R equivalent is equal to 1 by R1 plus 1 by R2 we can do. That is, they have got different areas here, A1, A2. Okay, lengths are same here. Now here R equivalent is, what you have R equivalent? R equivalent is equal to, R is equal to, what you have got? E by K. So here we can write L by K equivalent. K A1 plus A2 by L. Here we can write K1 A1 by L, K2 A2 by L. This L getting cancelled. So what you left out here with K equivalent is equal